making no money mistakes. Make a payment on your bills and you still late. Yeah, Painful Profits to help you seek change. And you just wanna get paid. Yeah, tired of making no money mistakes. Make a payment on your bills and you still late. Painful Profits to help you seek change. Yeah, cut the show and just listen. You wanna feel empowered by making money decisions. Residual by the hours can get you a better living. Bitch at the check, you know, and it could be different. You know.
What's going on, profiteers? Hope all is well. Another episode of Convos with your CFP, Mario Payne. But before we get started, like, share, subscribe as we continue to grow. As you know, I'm a certified financial planner. Not a lot of CFPs do what I do from a given informational standpoint. You know, we have our own ETF on the stock market, have my own black-owned investment firm. So I'm kind of like a unicorn. So again, like, share, subscribe, and let go. So today on Resurrection Sunday, giving all glory to God, we have to go over my experience today. I was in a wonderful restaurant called the Soul Food Bistro. It's in Jacksonville, Florida, and it's pretty amazing what the church did. The church actually bought an old strip mall. They turned that strip mall into a epicenter that brings in the church and economics. So I had to go to one of the locations today because everybody loves the food. The food is amazing. We had to get together to celebrate Easter, of course, with some friends. And I was in line waiting. Now, you want to talk about demand. I was there at 11:10. Now, we went to church on Saturday. Our church we go to, they have different services on Saturday and Sunday. So we did Saturday. So it opens at 11 o'clock. So my thought process is we get there at 11:10, we'll be okay. First one's in the door, get our food, get out. We had an event with our friends that started at 3 o'clock. Anyways, though, so I'm thinking, okay, it's cool. Well, I get there. And when I get there, it's a line out the door. So I'm thinking it must be for in dining. So I kind of walk up, the door's locked. I ask a person, hey, what's going on? Oh man, it's a line. Okay, so we're outside. 15 minutes go by, it's like, man, it's popping in there. So finally they open the door as people leave. We're in there. This made me think, but why is it that in our community, our dollar does not stretch as others? You have other minority communities where their dollar stretches for 28 days, where if a person patronizes their business, 28 days later, that dollar is still circulating through their community. We have other minority communities where it's 17 days. Put money in their community, that dollar circulated for literally another 17 days. So why is it in the African American community, our dollar only circulates for 6 hours? Not 6 days, but for 6 hours. So literally, if I patronize the business at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, by 6 o'clock, that is gone away. What needs to happen for our dollar to be in our community more? The more money that's in your community, the more it helps from an economic standpoint. And as an African American, I want to do what I can from an educational standpoint, example standpoint, and showing us the way standpoint, how to make that work. The first thing, it is all about ownership. The biggest reason I think that our money is not staying in the Black community, we don't own nothing. You think about businesses. We have a long way to go. For every 100 businesses, 3% that's Black. 3% that's Black or African American. For every 100 businesses, we own 3 of those. From a revenue standpoint, our revenue is only 1%. So for every $100 being made, we get 1%. 1% of that pie. Not so good. Now let's compare that to other minorities. Not saying it's good, not saying it's bad. It's just a fact. The Asian community, 11% owned. So they are literally 4 times, almost 4 times as much as us from an ownership standpoint. Revenue standpoint, revenue is 6%. 6 times. So for every $100 an African American business makes, an Asian community makes $600. Hispanics are 7%. So for every 100 small businesses, 7% is Hispanic. And we are, again, 3%, so double. And from a revenue standpoint, again, we're making 1% of revenue. For every $100 that's made, Black-owned companies are making $1, when Hispanic-owned companies are making $3. That's 3 times as much. We make $100, Hispanic community or Hispanic business makes $300. And number 2, and yes, I'm biased about number 2 because this is what I do for a living. I invest money. As you guys know, we're one of 3 Black-owned ETFs on the stock market. Our symbol is Let B. Pretty cool. Let Bob. Check us out. www.letbob.com. Of course, I got to represent. Our ETF is LETB as in boy. Check us out. But the first Black-owned mutual fund ever on the market, Mr. John Rogers with Ariel Capital. We salute, man. You are a role model. And look at here at this survey he did with Charles Schwab. Let's go. Let's look at it. In 2022, just 58% of Black Americans and 63% of white Americans own stock, compared to the survey peaked where 74% of investors that were Black in 2002 and 86% of white in 2015. Putting your money in a savings account is great for short term, 6 months to a year, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4. That's a Jay-Z verse, ain't it? Man, shout out to Hove. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 10 years, 15 years, 20 years down the road, investing in the stock market, that is the equalizer. Imagine you bought Amazon 10 years ago. With those profits, yes, you could take out some of those profits. Painful profits, because Amazon stock went up and down, but those profits, you could have helped yourself start a business. Think about if you invested in Apple 10 years ago and you didn't touch it, or you put money into it. Oof, painful profits. Just imagine what you would have today. The proceeds of the shares that you sold and the profits that you made would have allowed you to start your business. This is the key. Investing. Investing is ownership. The more that we own, the more profits we make. The more profits that we make, the more money we have. The more money we have gives us the opportunity to start businesses. And those businesses that we start, we get to scale up. We get to hire people, empower people. This is how we help our community. This is how we reduce the wealth gap. And this is how we make sure that our dollar that right now only circulates in 6 hours in our community circulates a lot more. It's through ownership, either through housing or, in my opinion, better if it's invested in the stock market. Past 10 years, people's houses are gone through the roof. But you know the average house growth is 4% the past 10 years. Compare that to the market where it's over 8%. On $100,000 on average every year, your house goes up by $4, or in this case, $4,000. On $100,000, your stock goes up by 8, which is 8,000. That's doubling your money. 10 years later, with compounded interest, you've doubled your money. The house went from 100 to 150,000. You went from 100 to 200,000 with compounded interest. Why it's so important to have your money in the market? This is why the Black dollar is not circulating. So what do we need to do? Well, first off, when we do invest, let's just slow walk. When it comes to Black investors, they're twice as likely to rank cryptocurrency as their best investment choice overall at 8% compared to 4% white investors. Not good. Crypto should be 2, 3, no more than 5% of your portfolio. Not your best investment choice. Yes, you feel like a genius when it went from 20 on Bitcoin to 66 on Bitcoin. When it went from 66 to 17, didn't feel good. And typically what happens is that when you lose big, it takes you way longer to invest. So now we sell it at 17, it gets back up to 30. I'll invest now. Should have been the opposite. Should have actually took profits as it went up. When it went down to 17, we buy a little bit, called dollar cost averaging. Then at 20, buy a little bit. Then at 25, buy a little bit. Now it's almost at 30, buy a little bit. Dollar cost averaging. But for every $100, not all $100, not $80, not $60, maybe a couple dollars. Any alternative investments like cryptocurrency, whether that be Bitcoin, Ethereum, anything else, 2, 3, 4, 5% at the most. So when we invest, let's not get risky. Let's do those just simple investments like Let Be. When the market goes down, you're not going to lose as much. Check out our performance last year. The market was down. We weren't down like the market. And when the market goes up, yes, you're going to have some growth as well. So when the market does go down, you're not like, oh man, investing ain't for me. My black-owned dollar, let me spend it. It might not be in my community, but at least I got to spend it. I ain't losing the market. It don't work like that. So when we invest, make sure we don't do aggressive investments. Be diversified. Educate yourself when it comes to investing. Learn what you're going to invest in. Check out my book, The Relaxed Investor. Working on it now. Should be out hopefully fall, prayerfully. But yes, educate yourself with my book, with other books. Read, watch YouTube, go to my channel, Painful Profits, go to other channels. Educate yourself about the stock market. Do not invest in something like crypto, at least all your money, that's get rich. The reason why our dollar is not circulating is because from an education standpoint, we're not educated when we invest. If our money's not growing, then it makes us think twice. Makes us think twice, we probably won't invest. So now we become consumers instead of investors. And if you're a consumer and consume all the time, of course your dollar is going to leave the community. And in closing, not a knock on any other community. I'm blessed to have Caucasian clients, Asian clients, Hispanic clients, clients of all walks of life. We are a melting pot. That what makes America great. In our community, we can do better. There's always ways to improve. And hopefully this convo with your CFP gave you some information to improve. But that's it for me. Again, happy Resurrection Sunday. Jesus rose. He died for my sins as well as yours. Let's make some paper profits together, y'all. Peace.
And you just wanna get paid. Tired of making no money mistakes. Make a payment on your bills and you still late. Yeah, Painful Profits to help you seek change. And you just wanna get paid.